Well, returning to one of our top stories, the US presidential election, we're joined now from Washington by Douglas Sloan. He's a Democratic political strategist and a senior principal consultant with the National Capital Strategy Group. It's good to have you live with us here on Al Jazeera, sir. It seems that since the admission by Mr. Trump that he had done no wrong, he seems to have opened a Pandora's box that will possibly be very, very difficult to close. What's it going to take for that box to be firmly shut?
There's no shutting Pandora's box now. It's wide open, and as Donald Trump has said, he's now unshackled, and some might even say unhinged with some of his latest remarks about President Obama. It seems that the strategy of the Trump campaign is to go full conspiracy theory. They're saying that the national media is out to do him in. They're saying that he's being targeted. They're saying that all these things are just coincidentally happening to him in the last few weeks before the election. And perhaps one could make the case that they would have a point if he weren't already caught on tape bragging about doing just some of these things regarding groping women and unwanted sexual advances towards women. So this is a box that can no longer be shut. This is wide open, and I think that this is the way they like it.
Well, of course, in the second presidential debate, the general assessment was that both candidates had been bloodied, but there was no killer blow. How much of this is going to be an issue for Mr. Trump, and how much is the whole email debacle going to be a huge anchor around Hillary Clinton's neck? Surely they have nothing to lose now by going for the jugular in the final debate, because they really need public opinion on their side.
Yes. Well, this is clearly an albatross for Mr. Trump, in that this is alienating the largest voting bloc in the United States. Women vote in higher numbers than men in this country. And for these allegations to be surfacing so close to the general election, when there's really not any time to recover, when you have so many women coming forward, and now some of them are being represented by lawyers, by Gloria Allred, and they're giving their names. These are not anonymous sources. And again, you have Mr. Trump that admitted to doing this on tape. It's really something that I don't see him being able to recover from.
Well, how is this playing out? Sorry to interrupt, Mr. Sloan, but how is this playing out for Hillary Clinton? Because the issue of the emails and the disregard for security matters seems not to be playing so much on the public psyche. Would that be the correct assessment of the situation?
It's not having as much an impact because, as usual, the news about Donald Trump is sucking all the air out of the room. These are very crazy. You can't even put it into words. These are scandalous accusations against a presidential candidate, a major party presidential candidate. This isn't just, she was careless with some emails. There was mishandling of some classified documents that didn't quite raise to the level of criminality as far as the U.S. Attorney and the FBI were concerned. Hillary Clinton admitted that she made a mistake, and it's not a mistake that I would have made, or that it seems anyone in their right mind would have made, but it still doesn't seem to rise to the level of some of the things that happened or that were perpetrated by Donald Trump in terms of sexual assault and groping and in attacking these women. It's not quite raising to that level. So again, he's sucking all the air out of the room.
Let's take this then globally, because obviously domestic issues matter a great deal to a domestic electoral audience, as in the United States. They haven't really discussed international matters, such as China's perceived expansionist aims, North Korea's aggressive nuclear tests, or Iran's support for the Assad government in Syria. Why have they not dealt with such important global issues that America likes to be front and foremost when they hit the headlines?
Well, they should. This should be a race about the issues. And if this were Hillary Clinton against John Kasich, or Hillary Clinton against Marco Rubio, or Hillary Clinton against George Pataki, I feel they would be discussing the issues. But because this is Donald Trump and someone that has spent much of his life running towards the spotlight, and it seems like it's devolved into a campaign that's more akin to a reality show. This has become a reality show campaign, and the most scandalous news is making the headlines, and you're absolutely right. The important issues of the day that should be being discussed during the campaign and during these debates are largely being overlooked because of the scandal. And it's unprecedented in American politics. And hopefully this is not something that's going to be the norm going forward. But we should be discussing. The only major foreign policy issue that they're discussing is Russia's involvement with Hillary's hacked emails. U.S. Homeland Security took the unprecedented step of saying that Russia was involved in these hacks. So, that's really the only foreign involvement or discussion that you're hearing.
Well, there for the moment we'll have to leave it, and we shall see what happens in that third and final debate in less than a week's time. For the moment, Douglas Sloan, thanks for joining us from Washington, D.C. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.